the courtroom, they can't fail. With every word that they declare, truth and justice in the air. Appeal papers like wings they fly, from the bench to the big blue sky. Dave knows the fight is done. With conviction they will rise.
Hey, Mo.
Hello. I feel like I'm in a elevator, but I'm getting stuff done, so it works. Leave it to Dave to figure out a grift in which you don't even have to talk. I am jealous.
I'm having some. This is so dry. This is so
I don't know. If you imagine him writing a really smutty book, it's kind of funny.
Yes, folks, I'm actually live looking at Dave. And Mo joined me.
Yeah.
And
Well, my room is.
became a member.
I am currently rearranging my room so I have a bad day, like day bed, where I can turn my camera around and just sit on it, and I'll have bed streams, but it's not as fun as you think it is.
I'm just having. The Young Thug trial is on break until Wednesday, I think. And I did my updates on the other cases. So I thought, hey, Monday. Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
and Sarah Boone is canceled for another force of nature, possibly being more destructive than her coming through. So.
Yeah. Now, I have, because there is Judge McAfee, also in Fulton County. He has his YouTube channel. Let's see. And
is he writing on a pad? Is that a thing that one can do?
apparently. No, I just paused it because he was about to say something. And I have no idea what it is. So let's see what he was here to say.
Just so all you guys are wondering what I'm actually doing, I'm literally actually doing this, but I'm putting my loop up.
Yeah, he's actually doing a pellet work. He's actually doing, but thank you, Pink Slime, for gifting one membership. Went to Sprinkles. And that cat gifted a membership to Vodka Blood. Thank you.
I'm over here trying to get Sarah Boone's face on Randall from Recess, and my digital skills are not as great as one would think.
Now, for you, I was thinking about, because you have Judge McAfee. He is the one. Hold on while I turn down the 70s adult music. Once in a while, I mean, he streams his trials, and he has these.
Cool.
He's the judge who is handling the disqualification of Fonnie Willis, and so he has these shorter trials. For instance, you have a 3-day bench trials, Harrison v. Harrison, then a 1-day bench trial, Reynolds Realty v. Ghazi, and 2-day trial, Weizong versus PNC. I mean, here he has a contempt hearing, and so he has a lot of content, and so I was contemplating just checking those out, but then Dave put up his stream, and it is such an amazing trolling, because YouTube have told Dave for months now that they don't like his content on that particular channel. And what has he done on that channel? Trial streaming. So
yeah. YouTube has been screwy for the last little bit, and I'm kind of hoping that when certain events, pass over, that it's going to go back. But I think we are seeing, uh, if I put my tinfoil hat on, you see the cable TV channels dying. You see all of this, and now they're realizing that people would rather get, entertainment and all sorts of stuff on YouTube. So I believe probably within the next 5 years or so, and this is, me just speculating, that YouTube is going to become like cable, and then we're
Mm.
all going to go to another alternate source.
Yeah, I mean, things are moving in a circle. I mean, for instance, in the 90s with the alternate site downloading things, I will not say its
Oh,
name
yes.
because then that was a reaction because internet was in its early stages. It took like downloading a 240 movie took hours. But
See, there is
the
one crime that I never committed because I'm
Mm.
like, so how does one? I'm like, Control Alt Delete. How does this work? BitTorrent. What the? I don't understand any of this. So
Mm.
I can proudly say that I never pirated anything,
Mm.
mostly due to lack of
I
skill.
I pled the fifth, and but at that time you had the video then, VCR and DVD was in its really early stages when they sold regionalized DVD players and VCR players that you actually, if it wasn't sold in your region, you couldn't play it.
Yeah, I
So,
never understood that.
for instance, I mean, in Titanic or Titanic, when that came out, it was regionalized. So over here in Sweden, the premiere was 3 months after the US premiere. And people was like, nah, not having it. So they went to alternative sources. And
Wait, you didn't want to wait to find out if the Titanic made it okay?
I was I was really rooting it. Not this time. This time they will.
I will never forget being behind. I was 12 at the time, and I didn't realize how stupid teenagers were. And then I was behind three girls that were like, God, I hope it doesn't sink. And I was like, you went to a movie called Titanic. And I was like, spoiler alert.
Yeah, but aren't they in preparation for Titanic too? I mean, they will survive now. I This time she will make room on the damn door, or
Yeah, James Cameron, could you fix that one bit? She's like, I love you so much, but get off the door. You're making me not float. Also, I'm gonna steal your whistle while you're sinking. No offense.
But everything that happened then was, and then in mid noughts, the legal streaming sites started to pop up, and then you had the big revolution with Spotify, and all of a sudden, they made billions early on, literal billions early on, and everybody started streaming. There were no regionalized, there was nothing of the sort. And now what do we have? We have 500 different streaming sites, all costing a fortune, and they are locking in content in regions. That's why you have VPN or everywhere, because hey, do you want to watch this show but it's not available in your neck of the woods? Use VPN. And we will have a new research of alternative sites, and we already have. Because,
Yeah.
for instance, I watch Swedish soccer. I mean, I have my team and everything. And it would be cheaper for me to take a friend to a game than buying it to watch at home.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so I assume we are more or less headed that way again, and that's why our governments are adamant in let's not allow encryption. We need backdoors into encryption because everybody think of the children and terrorism and stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, and bad things. All the bad things. The people that like the bad things disagree with me.
Oh,
It's just, it is weird that it swings in roundabouts that way, that, every time we think we're making forward progress, they find a way to continue the cycle, to bundle things up, and then you have to go search for a new alternative. And I think the problem that most of these governments, most of the world is facing is that news has been democratized. We all have one of these. We can all be citizen journalists now. And with, let's say, a certain person owning whatever in the hell we've decided to name it now, X Bird, is allowing people to get their stories out. So you no longer have the Walter Cronkite that sits there and tells you and spoon feeds you stuff.
yeah.
You have
And-
all these different people.
Yeah, and I seen these, whatever you call it, people who said, well, look at Mr. Lots of Children said 5 years ago, we need to have X politically neutral. And then they say on X, Twitter, look at what he's saying now. He's supporting this candidate. Yeah, but you are actively saying it on X, Twitter yourself. Isn't that the neutral bit? He's actually allowing your voice to be heard on
You would
his
think so.
personal property. You would think that the irony here is
Saving
lost on them.
democracy by silencing people.
Mm.
I think that's wait, was that Orwell or was that A Brave New World? Oh no, in A Brave New World we got drugs. Can we go to that one?
Yeah, I want my own alternative with no.
The cure that fixes everything. Boobs. Feel bad about socialism? Not anymore.
Oh.
There's a reason we aren't supposed to be together.
Yes, democracy and boobies and yeah, yes, saying certain names and things on this particular site here.
Yes.
Yeah, not good. Not good. And by the way, yes, we know that Dave's is on a loop, 5-minute loop or something like that. But that is more or less lawyer work. You're sitting your ass down and you're reading documents and you're writing things down in preparation. It really isn't often. It's not. It isn't more fun. That's it. Then you get to the fun part, like depositions and stuff. Then you can actually say stuff.
I was shocked at the amount of foundation work, which is funny to me because I find that to be the most, I guess, offensive part of trial watching, because just trying to stay awake and making this, fun and entertaining. But I was absolutely shocked when I first started watching trials. Just as a layperson, I was like, good God, they have to ask everyone about their CV? We're going to be here forever. Are they going to ask their favorite mixed drink too? What the hell?
Yeah, sadly, that everything needs to be on the record. But in my coverage of old trials, and even with the Jodi Arias trial, and with the Eileen Warner's trial, and even Jeffrey Dahmer trial, this CV was like, it was 5 minutes tops. Are you this? Yes. Have you done that? Yes. Have you testified before? Yes. Done. Now it's, did you grow up in Chicago? Please tell me everything about you growing up in Chicago. That makes you a gang expert. And you just want to reach through the screen and say hello. And yeah, speaking of Dave's loop here, okay, it's not 5 minutes, it's more like a minute and a half. He does more preparation in that loop than Ms. Love has been doing the entire trial.
Yeah, I will say, not having kept up with the YSL trial as much, I kind of catch your updates and then I'll watch the Friday show to kind of get a general gist.
Mm.
But other than just dressing like a human jelly bean or Skittle, what does this woman do? Because I have yet to figure out the cohesive story of this, because I kind of watch trials thinking I'm the juror. So as a layperson, what am I expected to get from this trial? And having watched it, at separate different times, they have made no overarching beyond this is a RICO case, so everything is a crime kind of thing. They haven't, unless I missed the day where they kind of defined what RICO was and how they were using it in this particular trial. It just seems like a bunch of gobbledygook going on.
Well, on day one, or even before day one, Judge Glanville he went through the charges and explained a bit about them. It took him 4 hours to get through the charges.
Oh no.
Yeah. I've been thinking about restreaming it, then I watched it and said, no, there's no way in hell I can make this entertaining. There's no way.
It's a difficult thing to try to do, especially when you have to go by like levels of nerd, and you have to think, okay, now maybe true crimers, some nerds would be willing to go and watch this verbatim, but that's a devastatingly small number compared to, weirdos who are going to watch an entire trial. I consider myself a weirdo. I'm okay with it. But, not everyone is going to be watching the Darrell Brooks trial like it's his damn job. Only I would. So, while not being paid for it. I really did forget things. I was like, why don't I ever come up with smart ideas during the time? But still, there is an exceedingly small number of people who want to do that. And while it is good to kind of show it in context with a trial, to kind of give people an idea, because I will say that watching trials made it really interesting and easy to kind of understand what was going on in my own trial and kind of what the procedure was going to be and things like that. It's boring AF.
Yeah. I mean, this trial, the YSL trial, is a 1 out of 1. I mean, it's already the longest trial in Georgia history. Because technically the trial started with jury selection, and that started in January of 2023. So technically we are 3 months away of the 2 year long trial. And 45
Have we gotten
motions
a quantified number of how much they've spent on this abomination of justice?
I've done a rough calculation. Rough, because jurist math, but there are 6 to 7 security personnel there all the time, every day, and they start before trial start, and they stay for a while. So they have 11 to 12 hour days. Then you have their salary.
Okay.
Then you have
That
the
makes
court
sense.
Then you have the court personnel. You have the court reporter. You have the court clerk. You have another person, Judge Whittaker's assistant, also in the background, and the judge itself. Their salaries. Then you have 5 present prosecutors in the courtroom, plus their assistants in the background, their salaries. And then you have the guys are in jail, the cost of having them in jail. And then you have
Yeah.
the administrative things in the courtroom. I mean, the electricity bill, the heat, everything around it, like internet, all of those costs add up. And I mean, how much does a A4 piece of paper cost? Yeah, they're running through hundreds of, if not thousands, every day
Well,
with
yeah.
copies and everything. And somebody needs to do the copying and everything. So everything added up. If it's not $1 million a month, it's damn close if you add all the costs up.
I yeah, what I don't get is again why nobody in that particular district is really up in arms about the conditions of the jail, the deaths that have happened there,
Mm.
and why Miss Love, or sorry, Fawny. Again, don't name your child that if you want her to be not laughed at. This is just meanness. But how many people are still waiting, 5 years on, 5 years to get, their trial even started? And not
Mm.
because of Sarah Boone shenanigans, but because they're so backed up, because they're so woefully inefficient at doing this. I mean, we've got the DA from the failed and aborted Susan Morphew case getting disbarred. Why hasn't this happened here, where she has obviously neglected her duty?
Uh, uh, your, I saw on X earlier that Judge Whittaker is, her hands are tied with statutes, with rulings in appeals court and rulings in the Georgia Supreme Court. And I understand that she is very hamstrung in, okay, what she is actually allowed to do. And I agree, she is, but you also have, I mean, if you have 45 motions of mistrial, if you have a prosecutor that has lied to the judges, to Glanville's and now Whittaker's face on so many occasions, it's not even laughable anymore. And hiding evidence. And every time the defense has brought forward, look at this case, Your Honor, look at that case, Your Honor. So they have the cases, but still, she isn't at the point of, because I don't think she wants to have a mistrial without prejudice. They need to get her over the hump of with prejudice. For me, I was there long ago, but I'm here, not in the courtroom. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So what we're essentially telling people is that if the government spent so much time and money on a shit case, well, we're in this for the long haul. And
Yeah.
unless the prosecutor literally goes over and stabulates someone, we're going to keep this case going. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, this case is going to the jury. Unless the jury starts dropping off, this case will probably, I know, it sounds like Judge Whittaker is getting fed up. But
Would
then,
she be within her rights to say the case or what the state has presented thus far enumerates or is basically not a case? And I mean, is there a point at which respect for the jury, respect for the process can become overwhelming to the point a judge says, this is enough? I mean, within the statutes and things.
I believe so, but that is just a mistrial. That's
Okay.
not with prejudice. The crappiest prosecutor, well, then the judge can say, well, this prosecutor, there's still a case in there, but with a better prosecutor, good luck next time. So they need to get over the hump of with prejudice. And I don't understand why they are not there already. For me, if it was the first 5 mistrials should have been granted, in my opinion. Now we are at 45, which is most in US history. So we are really at a 1 out of 1 here in the YSL trial. There are no precedents anymore. This is a de novo case. And de novo it means for the appellate courts or the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Nothing like this has ever happened before. And maybe that is one of the reasons she's punting, just as Judge Glanville did, punting it up to the appeals court. Because since nothing like this has ever happened, they need a higher court to make rulings. And thank you, Steph, gifting a membership to
That makes sense.
Sweetie88. So that in itself could be a reason why we aren't there yet. Because if this trial goes to mistrial with prejudice, there will be no precedent. They can use this case in other cases, but if it's not from the appeals court or the Georgia Supreme Court, it's not a precedent. It's not case law. It has to go up one step for it to become a case law or a statute. And
That does make more sense.
Yeah, but meanwhile, you have these guys in jail.
Yes.
And if
that does
convicted,
not.
they will be in prison until an appeals court brings it up. And I had a stream the other day, or a video, sorry, about a 2012 case with, what's his name now? Bradley, I want to say Bradley.
Trying to.
Just the other day. And where, let's see if I have it still here somewhere. Let's see here. Kelvin Bradley, yeah. He was convicted in 2012. And he was released in 2017. And it was so overly obvious that Ms. Love she told the jury in closing arguments that his silence was a show of guilt.
That's not right. I mean, even I, as a not even Lionel Hutz level of sovereign citizen, know that's wrong.
And the facts of that case were a meth head got in an argument with her boyfriend, got in a car, started driving like a maniac, ran into some people, pinned one person between their car and her car. And at that time, Mr. Bradley, who was a security officer at the time, he pulled out his gun, fired 3 times, and ended the life of that meth head. And Miss Love took it. She charged him with second degree or manslaughter and possession of firearm and everything. And now the jury did do this 2 out of 3, no. But they convicted him of one of the counts where he got the maximum 20 years by the judge. I don't remember who the judge was. But then 5 years later, on appeal, the appellate court said, oh, hell no. this was a justified shooting, because that method could have done Daryl Brooks and just ran people over. He did the right thing and just threw it out. And that was Miss Love. Just, hey, I can make this a win. And Mr. Bradley's lawyer in the trial, the appeals court said, yeah, this was one of these cases where, yeah, inefficient counseling. And so they reversed it. They first said, we are sending it down for a new trial. And the judge there said, nah, this isn't the case. And just. But 5 years in prison before he was released for something that overly obvious. And with this trial, yeah, we might be in for the same amount of time, if not longer, because that was a 2-week trial, I believe, back in 2012. This is a 2-year trial. The transcript
just the transcripts alone.
Yeah. For instance, Zachariah Anderson's appeal, his transcripts for 21 days was, what was it, $15,000?
Yeah, I
Something
think it
like
was
that.
about that much.
Yeah. Just for the transcript in order to be allowed to appeal. And now imagine the transcripts in this trial. For instance, say that the I don't know what the court charges in Georgia or in Fulton County, but say it's 50 cents per page. Yeah, there are a lot of pages. I can't even imagine. I wouldn't be surprised if it is in excess, say 50 cents. And we know there are, in Discovery, there are 7 terabytes of documentation and pictures and stuff. And everything that is entered as evidence, even demonstratives, everything has to be paid for the appeal. Who can afford that in this group of 6? Well, Mr. Williams can, and maybe Mr. Stilwell. None of the others, I believe. None of the others can afford to even, unless they get a public defender. Yeah, but imagine that poor public defender doing an appeals work for this trial. Who would even want to do it?
If the judge grows a spine and say she can throw out the case with or without prejudice, say we're just going to throw out the case and mistrial, does that go to every single defendant, or are the cases, since it's a RICO case, it's all under one umbrella? Does that mean every single defendant gets that mistrial, or can they cherry pick what they kick out and what they bring it?
That is interesting. I would hope it is for all of it, but it's in the judge's discretion to say in this particular part, in this particular argument, or in this particular charge. No, I don't think she can split it up. It's either or. But I don't
That's
know
what I thought, but I didn't know if there was differences, not being a legal person, if there was a difference between how they could apportion things, even though it's under the umbrella of RICO, but I wasn't quite sure, so I figured I'd ask a lawyer.
Here's Ken's counseling couch. Nick, once the transcripts are translated from shorthand to English, the price for the copy goes way down usually. It's that first one that's always the most expensive to do. Yeah. So, so more or less, if Mr. Williams appeals, he will take the cost for it, and then for the rest of them, the cost will go down. Yeah, but we are talking about tens and thousands of pages, if not hundreds of thousands of pages.
And I know, like in Delphi, the judge was charging $5.95 for each page of of transcripts.
Yeah.
So that nominal fee of 50 cents might be, arbitrarily increased for no good reason other than the judge would like to maybe make it prohibitive by cost to most people.
Mm. Yeah, but I don't know exactly how it's done in. Wait, what? Dave Stream Violet's point was suspended. Well, yeah, it's just him there on a loop. Yeah, I would assume that was it. We are actually providing content over here. But I must say, Dave's trolling of YouTube is
It's really
yeah,
very good.
it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, but after an hour and a half, I would assume that
Someone noticed.
yeah, someone noticed. I don't know.
Although they
I
have
can
that
still
girl
I can
just
still play
studying
it.
to lo-fi, you would think that would be okay.
I mean, they have ASMRs out there that is useless. I mean, why wouldn't this be one of those? I don't know.
He just needs to clickety-clack on things. He just needs to hold things up to the camera, clickety-clack, and then put it up to the camera thing.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's on a loop, he can just inject himself once in a while. Inject. No. It's not that kind of a stream. No.
Not that I was aware of, but that would really be against terms of service.
Yeah,
agreement.
yeah,
That might
that would
actually
really.
skyrocket him.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it is weird that YouTube has a hate eggplant for Dave for reasons. He doesn't say anything weird. He doesn't do like crazy political stuff. He doesn't, I don't know, try to dress up like Elsa from Frozen or Spider-Man.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they say no, because I assume it is because his first channel was yeeted. But then again, you have plenty of people who just start a new channel and get monetized. You have that Australian drunk. What's his name? LC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's on his 12th channel, and he keeps getting monetized. And all he does is stream himself getting drunk with friends and non-friends, talking smack and accepting super chats. I mean, it's amazing, but still.
How could that be against terms and services? I swear.
Oh. Yes, counseling. Dave was.
Does anyone want to go cook dinner for me? Because I have absolutely no motivation. I have to go make food.
Pop-Tarts.
I was actually going to make steak fajitas, but Pop-Tarts does have its own place.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I was just coming online because I really had nothing to show for, and I thought Dave's trolling was amazing, so I thought I would troll as well. But I'm glad you showed up, so we gave content, because
Yes.
well, I don't want my my stream cheated.
But we don't want Dave's stream muted either. I mean, if anyone's watched the Whatever podcast, this is more calming and good for the universe than that.
My husband watches a British guy who streams drunk about Warhammer. He got timed out for waving a pew pew. Just timed out. Okay. Well, I'm not going to show pew pew. At the most, I'm showing axes and knives and stuff. And I think that's legal.
I don't know anymore. I'm sure I'm going to get a cease and desist from Sarah Boone once, the wig breaks out and I maybe put a ratchet, Dolly Parton wig on top of that to make her presentable. Pretty sure I'm going to get in trouble for that one.
Oh.
Although I will say, thank goodness for Detective Great Hair, because I finally get to dress up as someone and not look, incredibly goofy. I'm like, thank God, I can play someone, and I don't have to explain why I look like, a female Garth.
Oh. Ah. Well, I'm watching over at Judge Scott McAfee, and I see here a bench trial, 5 hours. Yeah, it's a bunch of. Yeah, maybe I will do that tomorrow. That's just a normal trial, folks. Nothing special about it. I have no idea what's it about. It's Gene Reynolds Realty versus Ghazi. I have no idea. Let's check what that is.
Wait, was Ghazi the guy who tried to make his own commune out in, I think, Colorado? Or maybe I'm mixing up names.
Gene Reynolds
He was-
Realty. I have no idea. I have no idea what it is about. Maybe this is. No. I have no idea what it is. I will check it out first just to make sure it's somewhat interesting. YouTube has apologized for its mass mid-live stream termination that occurred earlier this week. Might be the same problem happening again? I don't think so. It might be actually they recognizing it's on a loop. I mean, it's quite obvious.
Oh, can you imagine the poor bastard that has to sit watching these channels and like, wait a minute, he moved his pen the exact same way 5 minutes ago. This is a loop.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, it's 11 p.m. here. I have work tomorrow, so I'm going to do a motion of off IF. But thank you, Mo, for showing up. And,
You are welcome.
And everybody, go over to Mo in the Deep End and subscribe to her.
I was supposed to say at 7, we've got Nightly Newsy News, a mix of current headlines and the absurdity that the 2024 offers. So,
yeah, that sounds amazing. And I will be sending you off to something equally interesting, and I hope it's more interesting. It's Walking with Brad. Why is it Monday?
I keep asking myself the same question. Why don't we just
why
Mondays?
Why is it Monday? What? It should be illegal to work the day after a non-work day.
It really should.
Yeah, it really should. But everybody, thank you for showing up for this semi-trolling stream. Thank you for the gifted memberships and everything. Thank you. I will find something for tomorrow. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. See you tomorrow, folks. Bye.
Days in the courtroom, stay